Ladies and gentlemen, ASL signing for the anthem today is provided by Saskatchewan Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services, acknowledging that we are on Treaty 4 land and the traditional homeland of the Métis. Please rise if you are able and remove your headwear. At 6:20, CKRM presents today's anthem singer, CCMA and Juno Award-winning artist, Jess Moskaluk.
We see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. We stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, Rod. You know the drill on the prairies on Labor Day weekend. No love lost. And the biggest regular season game to win. It's the 5-5 Blue Bombers, the 5-4 Roughriders in the 54th annual Labor Day weekend classic.
Both the starting quarterbacks today love playing on the Labor Day weekend. Matt Nichols has played in this series twice and in both games been over 300 yards passing for a grand total of 705. Saskatchewan Zach Polaris played in the Labor Day game for the Hamilton Ticats 3 times and never lost. He threw for over 300 yards in each one of those games as well.
These fans have been ready to go since Friday night. The annual Greenbelt Grunt match is on. And Dempsey not going to get very far on the return as he gets swarmed before he reaches the 25-yard line. Here comes Matt Nichols, his 3rd Labor Day Classic. He is 1-1 and has passed for over 300 in each of the 2 games against Saskatchewan.
Well, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Chris, have won 12 of the last 13 on Labor Day Sunday against Winnipeg, but it was Matt Nichols in 2016 that led the Bombers to the win that ended the 11-game win streak at that time.
Three-man front for the Roughriders, comes out throwing and complete to the newcomer. That's Corey Washington. Weston Dressler not in the lineup. Washington gets his first start in his first CFL catch.
Yeah, Dressler was a late scratch this morning, so it will be Corey Washington out of Newberry College starting in his spot. And up front in his second start, Manise Fouquetti will play for DeMarcus Hardrick at right tackle. So we'll watch that matchup with Fouquetti and Charleston Hughes.
Heavy focus in Winnipeg on first down production. It's good out of the gate with a 9-yard pickup. Chris Strebler in with the short yardage glue. Excuse me, that was Nichols who stayed in, and it's a first down.
Mikhail Brooks for Saskatchewan is out. He's replaced by Kurt Magid, who was recommended to Chris Jones by Bill Parcells. More on him later. Sam Hurl in the middle is playing in his 100th CFL football game. Good for Sam Hurl. Solid football players played for both teams in this series. And Will Blackman is in the 3-man rotation at wide corner for Saskatchewan. Great NFL resume playing for Javon Johnson and Creston Butler.
96 NFL game started in Green Bay. It's a first down, and the first carry for Andrew Harris. Short yardage, a couple. McHenry will take him down. Andrew coming off just 13 yards on 7 carries last week against Calgary.
Yeah, it was a low for the season for Andrew Harris, but as we talked to him yesterday, when defense is key on him and load the box, put 8 guys up at the line of scrimmage to try and stop him, that should leave other players open, like the receiving core and Darvin Adams, Nick Dembski, Drew Wolodarski.
Second and long, just 3 conversions last week in 13 second and longs. Nichols over the middle, and it's intercepted. It's picked off by Matt Elam. Off the fingertips of Corey Washington. Is it another Saskatchewan defensive touchdown? He'll be stopped at the 1. Stanley Bryant saves a touchdown, but it is a 53-yard return off the interception by Elam. His first in the CFL.
Lots of different looks from Chris Jones' defense. That's the challenge. He's right in the middle here. There's Elam, usually a linebacker. Lines up at safety on this play and drops back as the free man over the middle. Pretty tight coverage on this crossing route, and off the tip, Elam takes it down to the 1.
8th interception for Nichols, tossed on the year. That matches his total of all last season. And just confirmation by the command center that Elam didn't get into the end zone. So the first possession for the Saskatchewan Roughriders will begin on the enemy 1-yard line. David Watford lines up, and Nick Marshall is the short yardage quarterback straight ahead. Does he get in? No signal. And a flag down. Bombers may have been offside. Marshall with
offside. Winnipeg. The ball will remain on the 1-yard line, and it is still first down.
Somebody on that goal line at a foot beyond the goal line for Winnipeg, encroaching on the 1 yards. Marshall, the touchdown leader, has 4 on 4 touches so far this season. Couple by interception. Roughriders put up 24. First quarter points last year in this game. He'll try off the right side, slip, but tumbles into the end zone. Quick start for the home side as Marshall punches it in.
Any hope for the Bombers of early in this game trying to take the crowd out of it just ended. I mean, this is a quick turnaround, points off of the turnover. The interception took it down to the 1 from Matt Elam. Marshall finishes it off.
So if Lowther's good, he'll match the Winnipeg Blue Bombers total of 84 points off turnovers after the interception by Elam. And a 1-yard touchdown plunge for Nick Marshall. Matt Nichols set to come back, trying to rebound off that early interception.
Take a look at the route here and the interception, the key play. Andrew Harris to the flat, Corey Washington on this dig route, but because of the coverage, Saskatchewan's going to end up double teaming both a high guy and an underneath player right here in your screen on Washington. So a throw that Matt Nichols forces over the middle, it's tipped up in the air, and the safety just playing free in the middle. Matt Elam takes it down to the 1.
Here's Dembski. Fights gets off the first contact, but steps out around the same spot of his first return at the 24-yard line with a flag on the play.
Hey, what's up, baby? Time to win. Hey, yeah, you gotta set my dog out so you can get that tub. Oh, yeah, what's good? Do it again.
4 turnovers for Winnipeg last year in the Labor Day Weekend Classic.
During the return, holding, Winnipeg number 38. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Andre Prue wearing the ref cam for us in this game, and another deep field position start for the Bombers.
Well, based
back
on
at their 7.
Sorry, Chris. Based on the history of this game and the physicality that we see in this game and in the entire Labor Day weekend, that ref cam may be interesting. Watching some of that line play here in this one this afternoon.
Bombers have been practicing in the noise all week. If you can simulate this, there's a pass over the middle, and it's caught by Darvin Adams, who will move inside to slot. We'll see how that impacts the number 9 receiver in the league. It's a 14-yard gain and a first down.
Well, and this is an important throw for Matt Nichols, coming off the interception, throwing into coverage on the first one, and then coming back and hitting Darvin Adams on that dig. Gets him a little bit of room on that curl route, and a confident throw down low where only Adams can get it.
35th catch of the year for Darvin Adams. First down around the 21-yard line. Harris, right side. Get dragged down by Ed Gainey, but one of his biggest runs of the year, and Harris has Winnipeg in Saskatchewan territory.
Manise Fouquetti is playing for DeMarcus Hardrick. I mentioned he's going to get the kick out block here, and then a down block by Suk Chung, and watch the hole open up for Andrew Harris. I mentioned that one of the positives in the Chris Jones defense is all the movement. It's tough on quarterbacks, but you can catch a seam if you catch him in those shifts. That's what Andrew Harris just did.
38-yard run, second longest of the year for Harris, and a first down. So they'll give it right back to him, crashing inside the 50 to the 49, the Canadian Football League's leading rusher.
Yeah, it's been tougher slugging of late when you look at the last few games, but yeah, leading the league, 843 yards rushing. That's updated after the big run here this afternoon. And on pace for almost 1,500 yards rushing this season. That would be a personal best for Andrew Harris.
As a team, over 100 yards rushing in each of the first 6 games, but none in the last 4 starts. Wolodarski to catch in front of the safety, Mike Needham. And it's going to be short of the first down, but close. And let's see what they do on 3rd down and 2.
Paul LaPolice had a conversation with him before the game kicked off today, and talking about teams keying on Andrew Harris. In the last 4 games, his per game rushing average has dropped to just below 50, but that should mean that you get one-on-ones in your receiving core. If defenses try to load the box to stop the run, go to the outside in the passing game.
Gonna try this from 51 out. He's made from 50 this year. 1 for 3 for Justin Medlock beyond the 50-yard line, and this is up and good. So points in response by the Bombers on a long ranger from Justin Medlock. Big play on the drive. That 38-yard romp by the Canadian Football League's leading rusher, Andrew Harris. It's 7-3 Riders. CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Was it Glenn Suter that once said it's not how, it's how many? Well, it was 3, even if it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, after this kick, Justin Medlock just didn't feel like he hit it well, and just sort of like, well, that wasn't great, but it counts.
Zach Collaros on the field for the first time, and he comes up slinging. And just off the fingertips of the newcomer, Kyron Moore, who played his first game last week and had a couple of catches.
Yeah, was just targeted a couple of times. He's a little guy with great speed, gets him behind Alexander. The ball just out in front of him, can't track it down, but interesting that Zach Collaros just slinging it in his first throw of the game.
7 for his last 17 passes of 20 yards or more. 3-0 on Labor Day, but that was as a Hamilton Tiger Cat against the Toronto Argonauts. First time here at Mosaic on Labor Day weekend. 2nd and 10. And he cuts that pass incomplete as Josh Stanford unable to hold on. Kevin Fogg in coverage, and it's a 2-and-out on the first series for Zach Collaros.
Yeah, real good coverage there by Kevin Fogg, who is tied for the league lead in interceptions this season, has 3 on the year. Good position on that play.
Fogg goes from defender to punt returner. Josh Bartell is on to punt. Overcast Labor Day here in Regina. Temperature 19 degrees. Wind shouldn't be much of a factor. 40-yard punt. Fogg. And he'll get dragged down by the long snapper Jorgen Hughes. Andrew Harris back for another series, looking to reignite what is the most potent running game in the Canadian Football League. An optimistic Bomber fan would say we've split the last 2 Labor Days. A Rider fan would say, no, you've lost 12 of 13.
That one 2 years ago, key in that game was Justin Medlock. He went 7 of 8. The only miss was off the goalpost, including the walk-off winner after Kendall Lawrence had run back a kick to tie the game. Medlock won it.
Harris spins off first contact and cuts it back. Then it's a first down run. 12 yards up to the 50 as we take a look back to that Bomber win a couple of years ago.
Yeah, here's the big return by Lawrence, and time running out in the game here. He ties it at 25. Tyler Carpigna missed the extra point. And then after a controversial PI call that was challenged and won by Michael O'Shea, Medlock nails the winner, and that snaps the streak at that time. Riders have won 12 of the last 13, but not that many.
Harris already 54 yards on the ground as they hand it to him left side, and he powers his way across the midfield stripe, loses his helmet, but jocks up 6 to 7 more.
This is big. This is big for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, because when they're at their best, the offense runs through Andrew Harris. And over the last couple of games, give credit where credit's due to the opposing defensive units that have played against Winnipeg. They've stopped Harris. They've talked Michael O'Shea and Paul LaPolice out of going to him all game long, and they've come up with losses, but it's a good start for Harris today.
60 already, just 29 last year. Second down, pressure coming. Nichols dances, and he'll run for the first down. So that's a big run for Matt Nichols, who has carried the football just 3 times previously for 14 yards this season, but 8 to move the chains here.
It's a great decision, Chris, because in coverage, the Riders drop everybody out and they play what's basically called a cover 2 look or 2-man look, where you're man-to-man underneath with 2 guys over the top. You're outnumber them in coverage. So the quarterback running is an open lane in the middle. Matt Nichols takes advantage of it.
Bombers trying to snap a 2-game losing streak, have not lost 3 consecutive in the last 3 years. Keeping LaFrance now in the backfield. Take the handoff to LaFrance, and now trying to throw to him. Isolated against Sam Hurl. Here's the guy in his 100th Canadian Football League game, tracking LaFrance, the former Rough Rider, all the way.
Well, a guy who's played for both teams in this game. Playing game 100. I sat down just before kickoff with Michael O'Shea for a second. Didn't bring up Sam Hurl, but he did. He said, you know, there's a guy that I have so much respect for. Was a great player for us. Was a great player for Saskatchewan. You look on the video after games, and you see who's around the football all the time when he's on the field. He said you'll see 31 in every one of those shots.
2nd and 7. Bombers 2 for 4 on 2nd down conversions, and that one is dropped. Ball that should have been caught by Kenbrell Tompkins. A couple of newcomers to the Labor Day proceedings here in the receiving corps for Winnipeg. Tompkins fighting that one, a guy with NFL experience.
Yeah, just let that one get away. It's just a little bit high, but very, very catchable. That's on the receiver. Matt Nichols did what he had to buy some time and found an open guy, and he dropped it.
Well, he hit from 51. This one about the same range, and this one is blocked. And will roll down inside the 15. Bombers have to give the 5 yards, and they'll drop Christian Jones at the 15. Ball came loose after the whistle. So a low trajectory on the 51-yarder that was good, and somebody gets a hand on this one. From ref cam, it looks like it's Zach Evans who gets a paw on the ball.
Watch the push here by Zach Evans. Left side of the formation. You're right, Chris. That was a low kick, the one that was made by Medlock. He comes with a low trajectory again, and Zach Evans just gets a monster push right up the middle. Watch 92. Right between that gap. Guard to tackle. Gets his left hand on it.
Big Zach, 8 years in the league. Former member of the Regina Thunder, the O'Neill Titan grad. And now he will sit down, and the other Zach on the Roughriders on the field. Zach Collaros with his 2nd offensive series. Came on for his first with a 7-3 lead. 4th different Roughriders starter in this game in 4 years. High sweep, that's Kyron Moore. He turned the corner, tracked all the way, and dropped for a loss.
Take a look at the Saskatchewan starting offense. Kyron Moore is the youngster and the newcomer in there. They're already featuring him a little bit, some on the deep ball, and then that fly sweep. And up front, take a look at 11-year veteran who anchors that O-line, and Brendan Labatt is a real inspirational leader for this football team.
And he'll be inspired today. Congratulations on the birth of a baby girl for the Labatt family this week. Everly Wynn. Second and 10, pressure coming. Collaros got hit, got it away, caught by Jordan Williams-Lambert. It's going to be about a yard short of the first down, maybe less than a yard.
A little dip in production last week for Williams-Lambert after a couple of big games. Held in check against the Lions for just 13 yards.
3rd and inches for the Roughriders, in behind Dan Clark. Much of a surge, but again, they didn't need a whole lot. Of course, the Roughriders winning in BC last week on a big 3rd and inches stop. Andre Proulx surveying, and he wants the sticks to come out, so it's that close.
Well, this is going to be real close.
The down marker made it look like it was just 3rd and inches. They didn't, well, it doesn't look like that.
Oh, gave it to him.
Did give it to him. I'd like to see that again. That was, maybe our camera angle was a little bit. Because that was close, but.
Not a huge argument from Michael O'Shea on the Winnipeg bench.
So by that much, Roughrider first down. Handoff to Trey Mason, gets tripped up inside. Nice play there by Drake Nevis.
Boy, let's take a look again at the measurement, because just to see how close they really were to this. The chain gets pulled straight, and then it looks like it has a little bit of slack in it when they finally put it to the ground. I'm sure Bomber fans are saying, wait a minute, it was that close. But who set it down for Zach Collaros?
A bit of deceptive angle because there wasn't much of an argument down on the field. Collaros hit again, but gets it away again. And Williams Lambert's got the catch again. And he'll be short of the first down this time. There will not be a third down gamble.
Make your getaway with intelligent all-wheel drive in the 2018 Nissan Qashqai.
So Bartel comes on. There's Kevin Fogg awaiting at the Winnipeg 30-yard line here in the final minute of the opening quarter. Quick lead by the Roughriders on that interception return, 1-yard plunge. And after a 36-yard punt, the no yards flags fly. It's going to be a 15-yarder as we head to the sidelines and join Claire Hanna.
Well, Chris, this is arguably one of the loudest places in Canada today. And so to prepare, Bombers head coach Mike O'Shea decided to play some static noise during Bombers practices for the past 2 weeks. Andrew Harris described it as your little brother or sister screaming in your ear for 2 hours straight. And it was so they could practice some procedural body language type things. Now, Matt Nichols said it was just as simple sometimes as lip reading in the huddle. O'Shea said you'd hate not to practice body language and then come into Regina and make some mistakes.
That's what they have to deal with. 1st and 10. Nichols running out of time, and he'll be hauled down. That ball popped loose. Willie Jefferson will celebrate the sack. That's his 3rd now in 4 games and his 5th on the season.
When it comes to that noise, we'll watch Matt Nichols and see some of that body language and signals that he has to call, possibly by lifting up his heel to get the motion started, waving his hands in the air so the receivers can see it. Can't communicate verbally, gotta do it. There's the heel coming up.
24th sack of the year for Saskatchewan. More pressure. He'll screen to Harris. And Andrew Harris has another 1st down. Cut down by Purifoy, but back into Rough Rider territory. Bombers an inch in play in this 1st quarter. They trail in the game after 15 minutes, but Andrew Harris, a productive start. 60 on the ground and 15 on that first catch that moves the chains. 7-3 Saskatchewan at 1st quarter time. It was 24-3 after 1 quarter last year, and you had a flashback in the opening couple of minutes, but for the rest of the quarter, that was pretty good stuff for the visitors.
Well, the Riders have the lead. They're going to be happy with that. But I think you have to, if you're a Winnipeg Blue Bomber fan, be happy with that 1st quarter, especially the way it started. The Matt Nichols interception put it on the 1-yard line. Riders get the early momentum, but the running game is established. Andrew Harris, 60 yards already in 1 quarter. That's good news for Winnipeg fans.
Take some heat off Matt Nichols, who's had a turbulent couple of weeks. And now Harris used for the first time in the game as a receiver. It's another 1st down. 3rd straight series that Winnipeg has been in Saskatchewan territory. Here's Harris, finds a hole left side and gets helicoptered down to about the 31-yard line.
Boy, Harris is feeling it. He is reading that offensive line. This time it's the right side. Over here, tight end set just to widen the edge for Willie Jefferson. He tries to slide inside, and pulling around, Nick Dembski gets a lead block for his teammate.
Andrew Harris, 11-yard gain. 3 100-yard gains for Harris. 3 in a row earlier in the year. Looking for number 4 today at 71. Play action. Nichols. Shot. Open receiver. Touchdown. It's a 31-yard touchdown strike.
This is what happens when you establish a run game. That play action draws the defense, draws their attention, freezes them, and in behind coverage, Kimbrell Tompkins, the touchdown catch off the play action.
First CFL touchdown catch for Tompkins, who had the drop earlier. Former Cincinnati receiver. Same school as Zach Collaros. And even in enemy territory, a little end zone celebration for Tompkins and the Bombers and their fans.
Celebrate his first touchdown in the CFL.
Extra point. Enough here on it for Medlock. And Matt Nichols with his 11th touchdown pass of the year. Kimbrell Tompkins alone in the end zone. And it's 10-7 Winnipeg.
Trips formation are 3 guys out the left side. Number 2 is Tompkins. Watch the play action and how it draws the attention of the Rider defenders. Go ahead and roll it, guys, and watch how it influences. There's the play action fake. Eyes in the backfield, eyes in the backfield, eyes in the backfield. And meanwhile, Tompkins running his corner route in behind. All you need is for a DB to hesitate, to freeze in his back pedal for a split second, and you can get in behind coverage. That's what Andrew Harris did on the play fake. Tompkins with the touchdown throw from Matt Nichols.
4 plays, 55 yards, and a go-ahead touchdown. Marcus Thigpen on the return for Saskatchewan, and he won't reach the 25-yard line. Hauled down by Shane Gauthier and company. 4 NFL touchdowns for Kimbrell Tompkins, his first in the Canadian Football League.
You, son, K2. Flow with me, baby.
So Zach Collaros now will try and kickstart this Rough Rider offense, limited to 19 yards in the opening quarter. Mason, short pass caught by Naaman Roosevelt, who had 119 yards on 6 catches a year ago in the Labor Day Weekend Classic.
But it's been a quiet season for Naaman Roosevelt. Just 318 yards. This time last year, he was over 700. You go back to 16, he was almost at 900 by this time in the season.
Rough Riders with only 2 receivers with touchdowns in their lineup today, Roosevelt and Williams Lambert. Second down, throw to the wide side is caught by Stanford. All down by Marcus Sales, but it is a first down as they convert on second down for the first time on the day.
Riders have added Marcus Thigpen to the lineup. He's in the backfield with Zach Collaros now, and he's going to do their own little play action fake here on the inside handoff. Little play action fake, again trying to freeze the defenders, get it out there to Josh Stanford. Now Stanford's got to make sure he knows where he's at on the field. Just head upfield. If you belly back, you make it tight, make it close in that first down mark.
Trey Mason's checked back in.
Roger.
First down, Saskatchewan 35. Mason the ball carrier. And a burst to the 41. He has 6.
That was nice. He kind of disappeared in there for a second. Little sidestep. Watch how he makes himself small here. I mean, Trey Mason's not a big guy anyway at 5'9" and about 210, but that's not a very big hole. He just kind of cuts through there. Go ahead and just look at that, and then a little sidestep to pick up an extra 3 or 4.
50 yards plus rushing for Mason in 4 of the last 5. gets the ball again on second down. It's driven back. He looked like he was right at the first down mark and then got pushed back. And you can see forward progress being given. I think it's going to be 3rd and inches again.
But this time they will go with the short yardage team, which is Nick Marshall, the corner. David Watford is on the field as well, but he doesn't take the snap or hasn't. So Watford will call the play, and then he goes and lines up as a receiver, and Marshall gets under center.
Mason in behind. It is 3rd and inches. Marshall ahead.
Oh, man.
Ran into a wall, but the forward progress looked like it was across the 45, which what's what they needed.
Boy, he's going to have to, Nick Marshall, on these short yardage plays, if we see a bunch more of them and they want to continue to be successful. Looks like he may just get it with his forward progress here, but he might want to see where number 4 Adam Big Hill's lined up and go the opposite way.
Yeah. Number 20 now on the all-time list in CFL tackles. Big Hill playing in his first Labor Day weekend classic. Ron Santos Knox looks like he's calling out defensive signals. First down, Roughriders. It will be spun out here to the near side. Swing pass to Williams Lambert, and he's up to the 52-yard line. Kevin Fogg hanging on.
That's exactly what that was, Chris. Very interesting as the chess match unfolds here. Zach Collaros ran early motion, stop motion, in other words, to restart so he could see if the defense would declare. Then he called a play on the line of scrimmage. Of course, the fans quiet when Saskatchewan has the ball. And then Santos Knox went and changed the call defensively after Collaros called the play on the line.
7 yards, 2nd and 3. Mason not going to get there. And now it'll be 3rd down, and this is going to be more than just a quarterback sneak.
Boy, almost to a point where I'm going to have to punt this football.
It's 3rd and 2 from midfield. Darius Bladdock got up on the limp.
Zach Collaros is staying out there. And now they're...
Yep, the first 2 were less than a yard. Maybe that fake where it looked like they were coming off the field.
Sight.
And it will be Collaros, and it will be a first down. He needed that extra lunge to get there.
Oh boy, he just got there, and it was Adam Big Hill again who scrapes to the run. He's coming from this side, and he's going to scrape, and he has him in the backfield. If he gets him down right there, Collaros doesn't get it. But that lunge got him to the marker. Right there, that extra push.
3rd successful 3rd down gamble for the Roughriders, who moved down into Winnipeg territory at the Bomber 53 play of the drive. Collaros can't find anybody. In trouble, and he gets tossed down. It'll be the newcomer Gerald Rivers, the former Edmonton Eskimo, who gets the sack. Just acquired this week. We weren't sure we'd see him today, and he makes an immediate impact.
Yeah, he'll be in the rotation with Craig Rowe, and he'll play opposite Tristan Oplaugo on that other side. Their most consistent pass rusher and defensive lineman, Jackson Jeffcoat, out of the lineup for this one this afternoon. So it'll be Craig Rowe and Gerald Rivers.
And just 1 sack in the previous 2 weeks for Winnipeg. Get one here in the first half. Sets up 2nd and long. Collaros out of the pocket. Oplaugo in pursuit. And Sales angles him out. And this time the punt team will have to come on for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Not very often where a defensive end loses containment like Oplaugo did on that last one, and then has the speed to get back into a position to force Zach Collaros to just run out of bounds.
Saw Kevin Fogg gesturing to the sidelines, gets instructions about giving up 1 if This one is over his head or going to bounce inside the 10.
That's why he's standing just behind the 10-yard line. That's the marker.
Bartel 6 times has hit it inside the 10. Angles this. On the run. Fogg with it. And he steps out. They're going to rule it out at the 15. So another long field for Matt Nichols. But the lead at 10-7. CFL Labor Day weekend keeps rolling tomorrow. First game in the doubleheader. Mike Riley and the Eskimos, Bo Levi Mitchell and the Stampeders. Coverage begins 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific. And it continues the second game of the doubleheader. Argonauts, Ticats. Don't miss a pregame appearance by Tay-Bay, a great singer from Peterborough, and a live halftime performance by Hamilton's own Monster Truck. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, across the TSN network and in 4K. We'll flip to the former Roughrider, Nick Dembski. And Sam Hurl there to prevent him from doing any further damage. It's a pickup of 4 for Dembski.
Talked to Nick Dembski about his involvement in the offense. Excited that he's been targeted 53 times, and wanted to give a quick shout out to Oak Park High School's Stu Nixon. Taught him humility. Said that the player he is today.
Considering a pass play, he's the leading receiver in terms of receptions for the Bombers, now with 39. Second down, look at Nichols go to the reads. Nobody home, and he's going to have to throw it away at the Rough Rider bench. Pressure that time from Chad Jeter.
Good decision by Matt Nichols there. He just didn't have it, had a man in his face, didn't want to force it like he did earlier in the game, and saw what happened there, so he just throws it into an open spot so his punt team can come on the field.
Clock to punt. 46-yarder. And on the return, Moore got away. Look out! Kyler Moore, first punt return in the Canadian Football League. Back inside, and it's a touchdown.
Well, he shows you why Chris Jones is excited about this young kid. He's got great speed. It shows you a little bit of all the tools in the toolbox. First, balance and the ability to break the tackle. There's his balance. Now watch his speed as he gets outside and around the edge. He shows you he can outrun that angle. 65-yard return for Kyron Moore. He's not big, but he's quick. He's playing big, and that's a big play.
On the first one!
Huge weapon in college as a returner. Brett Lowther, the extra point. And on the teams, the Rough Riders regain the lead. Well, Christian Jones, one of the best in the Canadian Football League, and now there's a double return threat as Kyron Moore goes 65 for the touchdown.
I wish you would leave this behind me. Wish you would drive me away.
Looking forward to halftime. We'll have a special performance from Jess Moskaluk. I saw you prior to the game, reacquainting yourself with Jess.
We worked together at Telemiracle here in Saskatchewan back in March. Outstanding program. Tremendous singer. She did the anthem and is going to play at halftime as well. Boy, Kyron Moore showed you some speed there. Got out around the edge. Played his college ball at Austin Peay, and Chris Jones got a call from his coach after a big game he had against #1 ranked Central Florida.
369 all-purpose yards in that game. Here's Dembski, who's had a punt return touchdown on Labor Day. It's a big hit there, Jordan Reeves. And Spencer Moore. It was Moore with the hit, number 80. veteran out of McMaster in his 6th year.
It's Labor Day weekend. It starts to get real physical.
There you go. So Kyron Moore on one play, Spencer Moore on the other. One more look at this 65-yard return.
Good returners are going to have to make one guy miss. You're usually blocked up across the board, or at least you hope that your teammates get the block. Make one guy miss.
Andrew Harris, some running room again. Still going. Second level, and finally hauled down at midfield. Another big gain, and it's Hurl who has to drag him down, but looks like Andrew Harris could get 100 before the first half's done. He's at 96.
But this is the second time, Chris, that he's grabbed some momentum back with a big run after a Saskatchewan score. Early off the early turnover in the 1-yard line. Touchdown for Saskatchewan, making 7-0. Big run from Harris.
Got 38 yards then, 25 now. First down. And Dembski in the backfield. He bumps it outside and has room and will be dragged out. Purifoy tried to strip it. Lockman finished it off, but the Bombers chewing up yards on the ground against this Saskatchewan defense.
Great jump cut. Nice move here by Dembski. Former Saskatchewan Roughrider inside handoff, and then that jump cut bounce to the outside. Good vision. Paul LaPolice digging deep into the run side of that playbook. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers right now.
Roughriders number 2 against the run at 78.3 yards per game, but look at that, 121 here in the first half. On a roll, it's Nichols. He's got Harris out of the backfield. Got another first down. Excuse me, Keenan LaFrance, the former Rough Rider, has the football, and it's another Bomber first down at the 3-minute warning. 19-yarder for Keenan LaFrance. Bombers on the move. Trying to respond to that Kyron Moore punt return touchdown. First down at the 21 when we come back.
Rod, the guys back in the studio, 3 minutes to halftime. The Bombers have been the better team, but Saskatchewan has more to show for it thanks to defense and special teams. We'll talk about Winnipeg's use of Andrew Harris and the Labor Day concert series. We'll go back to Mosaic and hear from Saskatchewan's own Jess Muskaloo. Back to CC and Suits.
Thanks, Rod. On offense, it's 218 yards for Winnipeg, 50 for Saskatchewan here with under 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Bombers down by 4, first down at the 21. The toss to Harris. He's got some room. Andrew Harris gets collared down there by the safety Mike Edom at the 12-yard line, but over 100 for the 4th time this season, and still in the first half.
Little fly sweep here to get him outside, or quick pitch to get him outside, I should say. He's got Stanley Bryan out pulling in front of him. Got a nice block from receiver to get the edge. Running well between the tackles, and now outside that defense or offensive tackle.
Short yardage, and Strebler with the plunge should have the first down. I'd like to welcome viewers who have been watching Canada beat Brazil women's soccer today on TSN 5. 2:26 remaining. There's the score. And Chris Strebler staying in now, 1st and 10. Strebler getting a package on a roll. Back in the end zone, Adams! Does he get a put down? Yes! Touchdown! Chris Strebler with a touchdown pass for the 2nd consecutive week. Command center will confirm that Adams got a foot down.
Second game in a row where Strebler has come on the field in short yardage, and he's toes in, maintains possession. That's great focus and concentration from Darvin Adams. Drags the right toe. You only need one, and that left toe was in as well. So that's a touchdown. Winnipeg and Strebler back-to-back games.
And he got 2 down. Clearly dragging that right foot. Left foot was planted. 6 plays, 80 yards on the drive. And the 7th touchdown of the year for Darvin Adams, who has 4 in the last 3 weeks. Convert from Medlock is good. And Winnipeg back in the lead.
You know, a lot of teams will go to their backup quarterback in short yardage. But with Chris Strembler, who started the season because of an injury to Matt Nichols, started the first 3 games, he's got some experience. He's the type of guy, this wasn't the short yardage play, obviously, it was the next down, they kept him out there, but he's the type of guy that can beat you through the air, can run, make a big run in the short yardage rather than just fall forward for the extra.
All right, check that. Start off here.
Set it
I got
down.
my dog dipped. Black. My dog Wally. On those solid as they come. My dog, see.
Got some dogs there.
And my dog K2, man, close on now.
And there is your starting receiving corps for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Darvin Adams.
3 lead changes already. And the big story here is that the Chris Jones defense that has been so impressive the last couple of weeks, they've been on their heels here in the opening half.
Giving up some run yards. And again, that's where the Bombers have been at their best when they're running the ball and the offense goes through Andrew Harris, where a lot of things open up through that play action game.
Harris with more rushing yards than Nichols has passing yards so far, but the balance has been terrific. Christian Jones. And he'll be brought down at the 30. Troy Westwood's favorite game coming up next week.
Well, and the Riders have already been practicing to
banjos?
No. To combat the crowd noise that they'll face when they travel to Winnipeg in the rematch.
Love this series. This is the first of 3 meetings this year. They'll also be back in Winnipeg in October. So 3 times 6 weeks. And the series could define the season, at least the regular season, for both these teams. 2:11 to work with for Colaros to get this offense going. He's going to pull this down and get brought to the turf at the 36. He's got a 5-yard pickup. Adam Bighill the tackle.
Boy, I agree with you, and it's been just a tough couple of weeks for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but their defense has really played well in this first half against Zach Colaros in the offense. Colaros tried to go deep a couple of times early in the game, trying to loosen that coverage up, but Bombers have done a very good job.
2nd and 5. Stands in. Roosevelt survives the hit from Loeffler and has a big Saskatchewan first down.
That's a big one. That's a big one to get things going offensively for Saskatchewan. They get Roosevelt, and you know he is due. Naaman Roosevelt is due for a big game. He knows he's going to get hit. Taylor Loeffler's in there roaming the middle. You're going to get hit whether you catch it or whether you don't catch it, so you might as well catch it. 27-yard gain for Naaman Roosevelt.
2nd catch. Hurried, picked off, intercepted by Brandon Alexander. And just like that, the Bombers' defense snuffs the drive. Alexander's 2nd interception of the year, and Colaros a little slow to get up.
Yeah, he was. You know, when he was in the pocket here, he didn't look like he wanted to throw this. He saw the coverage. Watch him. He's not comfortable, first of all, because he kind of bounces around. He felt a little bit of the coverage. He kind of hesitated on the first look, and then as he's getting wrapped up, sidearms it right into the hands of Brandon Alexander. I think it's Adam Bighill that's going to get that pressure.
4th interception tossed by Colaros this year. So with 1:23 to go, a chance for Winnipeg to add to their lead. Pocket collapsing on Nichols, and he'll get dropped. And it's Mac Henry with the sack, and that's his first sack of 2018.
Had to earn it, too. Mac Henry's against the double team. Just 3 down linemen for Saskatchewan on this play, and Mac Henry basically has to work through a couple to get there. There he is, just 3 down linemen with Willie Jefferson and Charleston Hughes. They're going 3-man pressure. He goes through the center, he goes around the guard, he goes through both of them to get to the quarterback.
10th sack allowed by the Bombers in the last 3.5 games. 2nd and 14. Here comes Heat again for Willie Jefferson. And at the underside, the sack is made back-to-back. And it is the sack leader.
Is it? Did he get another one? I mean, he is running away with this. Charleston Hughes has 12 sacks on the season, by far more than the next closest at 5. Spin move inside. It is Charleston Hughes, sack number 13.
One of the players of the month of August. And for Hughes, sacks now in 8 consecutive games. Saskatchewan strikes again.
Do that, you get a cereal.
He serves, he's got a cereal. He's enjoyed the move to Mosaic. That ball bounces out of bounds at the, well, they're going to mark it at the 39, so 26 seconds left. See what Chris Jones wants to do. Just Moskaluk coming up at halftime. Pride of Saskatchewan. So my partner will not be leaving the booth at all at halftime.
A couple country songs.
And the backup band of Smith, Dunnigan, Burris, and Stiegel. How aggressive are they? Gonna throw. And a dart there, first down. So like that, they've got a chance for field goal range. Kyron Moore has been good in this first half, and that gets them within one more completion of Brett Lowther range. 15 for Moore. Valera's looking for Evans, can't make the catch. Veteran Chris Randall there, the Roughriders bench wanted a flag. Randall on patrol on the corner for the 7th year, playing in his 99th CFL game.
Yeah, he got into the inside hip of Shaq Evans there, and Evans didn't come all the way back to the ball.
Face mask, Saskatchewan number 57. A 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the play. 2nd down.
Wow, that's a costly penalty against Brendan Labatt now, and now with 11 seconds to go, and the ball back around the 40-yard line.
We'll take a look if we can see. They called Brendan Labatt.
There it is.
No question about that call. Good call by the official, and the evidence right there on the ref cam.
Took it against Adam Bighill. This changed the Riders' approach. Need about 25 yards now to get it in range. They're going to try it. They're going to go deep. And incomplete. A little bump there as Stanford was looking for the ball and ran into the defender. Looked for a flag, none forthcoming.
Just on the outside, just try to throw it up and see if you can get the catch or the penalty call. And with 3 seconds, if he got the catch, Zach Collaros would have got field goal range. However, Brandon Alexander was tracking the ball as well, and it looked like Stanford ran into it.
So 3rd down, and they'll just kill the clock. Again, 3 lead changes. And now we're getting a challenge flag before. They're gonna try and get that called as a pass interference. Chris Jones throwing the challenge flag just at the snap, so he'll use it now, looking for 3 points to get this game tied at the half.
That's exactly what he just said.
Saskatchewan is challenging the ruling on the play. They believe there was defensive pass interference on their receiver, number 87. The play will be reviewed.
I'm sure he's going to get this one. Right now, as far as this point in the season, Chris Jones is 0-1 in challenges. Challenged one time before this. We'll take a look at the top of your screen right up here. Remember the defensive back, basically the rule being, he's dropped off to Alexander in behind. Rule being that the defensive back has to deliberately impede or change the route, physically change the route of the receiver.
And is that a catchable football?
Well, it just that Brandon Alexander is tracking the ball and playing the ball.
Upon review.
Check that.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It is an incomplete pass. Saskatchewan is charged a timeout.
Well, no challenge left for Chris Jones. And they will proceed to run out the clock here in this opening half. 230 yards for Winnipeg, 97 for the Riders. Gonna need this one downfield just to kill the clock. And we're through 30 minutes in the 54th annual Labor Day Weekend Classic. Two teams tightly bunched in the standings, tightly bunched through 30 minutes. 17-14 Winnipeg as we head to Rod Smith and the guys. Welcome back to Regina, the Labor Day Weekend Classic, the 54th edition. 3 lead changes first half. Bombers have the lead after 30 minutes, and Claire Hanna is standing by with Charleston Hughes.
Charleston, you're trailing by 3 at half. What was the message in the locker room?
We got to play better. You know, they hit us with a lot of big plays, and they've been having a little bit of success with the run, so we got to figure out a way to stop the run and come out this second half a little bit tougher.
How do you stop the run? You've given up 132 yards on the ground. How do you eliminate that in the second half?
We just got to play gap sound, have everybody, you know, read their keys and really get after it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now 8 consecutive games for Hughes with a sack. And no reason to think he might not challenge Joe Montford and Philip Hunt's record of 10 consecutive games with at least one.
Ran into Charleston Hughes in the tunnel before the game, and I said, you know, I got a feeling you're going to get 1 or 2. He said, well, I'm not stopping there.
But they got to figure out a way to stop Andrew Harris.
And then you heard it from Charleston Hughes saying that they have to be gap sound. That means taking the gap you're assigned to, not getting pushed out of there by the offensive line, and then fly the football. A lot of times it's about just want-to factor when it's stopping the run. 12 hats on the ball. We'll see if Andrew Harris can get going again in this second half. Big first for 33.
Roughriders won the toss to start the game. They defer and get the football to start the second half as Medlock gets it going. And it will be Christian Jones. Up over the 30-yard line and a seam there, and then got nailed by Shane Gauthier, the special team tackle leader for Winnipeg, and Christian Jones a little nicked on the play, and he is going to take a knee.
Well, we've seen some big hits on the teams. Spencer Moore for Saskatchewan, big hit. The first half, Gauthier right there just rocks Christian Jones.
Brendan Morgan finished him off. Oh, he mentioned Gauthier. This is what he gets paid to do.
Arrow right to the ball. That's your assignment. If anyone's in your way, get rid of them. Get over there and make a play. That's great special teams work by Gauthier.
Third-year man out of Laval. And all coaches appreciate special teams. I'm not sure there is a head coach that puts more emphasis or derives more satisfaction out of it than Michael O'Shea. Big Ben in the backfield, the ball batted down, and the flag comes down.
The question, I think, for Rider fans and what they want to have answered in this second half is how to get that offense going, get some traction offensively.
Offside. Saskatchewan number 1. That penalty is declined. Second down.
So Shaq Evans ahead of the snap. It'll be declined. Saw Brandon Bryant in for Corey Johnson this week at defensive tackle for the Bombers. 2nd and 10. Roughriders 2.8 yards on first down and 2 for 9 on second down conversions in the opening half. Just get the play off. Out of the backfield, Big Ben, the speedster, and Santos Knox closed ground to make the tackle, but Big Ben looks like he's got enough for a first down.
Rotates into the backfield for Trey Mason. And this time he's just going to start in the backfield and then just hit the flat. Go out there in the flat and he outflanks the defender trying to chase him. Santos Knox has to bubble underneath Williams Lambert, and that's what caused him a step or two in behind, and that moves the chains for Saskatchewan.
Spencer Moore checks in. First down, 51-yard line, and the reverse not going anywhere. Shaq Evans tossed down by Greg Rowe.
Any play like this, Chris, for Stephen McAdoo, the offensive coordinator for Saskatchewan, that goes east-west, not north-south, sometimes they're good plays because they're misdirection type plays. You can get your defense influenced, but if you don't block the point of attack and you allow a defensive lineman to get up the field, he can disrupt those plays, get you in the backfield. You got to get a block up front on that one.
Big tackle for a loss of 10 by Death Row. The Big Ben spun around, and then Loeffler will force him out of bounds just short of the original line of scrimmage, and the punt team will come on for Saskatchewan.
That's a limit the damage play call. That's what that is. That's draw play on 2nd and 20 is limit the damage. It's okay to punt. Work the field position game at this point and put the next series on your defense.
Quiet crowd here with the offense sputtering. 108 yards now for the Saskatchewan offense. Andrew Harris has more than that himself. And 20-yard line fielded by Fogg. A little bobble, but brings it back to the 29, a 40-yard punt, 9 on the return. Andrew Harris at 105 in the first half, his career best, 147 back in 2012. Already his 20th career 100-yard rushing game, a terrific first half for number 33.
It wasn't only that he broke a couple of big ones, but it was the timing of those big runs. After Saskatchewan scores, Andrew Harris got a big run right after that, which took away some of the momentum from Saskatchewan. It's kept Winnipeg in this game.
First down for Matt Nichols. He throws complete. Corey Washington, the newcomer, has a catch. I mentioned that Harris's PB was 147. That was actually the first time he ever hit 100, and 147 stood up until earlier this season. He had a 161-yard game in Toronto.
Yeah, and I meant kept him in it early on when early momentum on the interception from Matt Nichols went Saskatchewan's way. And since then, as the panel mentioned and Matt Dunnigan talked about at halftime, the offensive line up front is dominating the line of scrimmage. We'll see what Saskatchewan has for him.
Second down, short drop over the middle. It's complete. Nick Dembski the catch. And Dembski, who said he had this circled on the calendar. Sure, he's not the only one, but a guy from Winnipeg and a former Saskatchewan Roughrider with a catch and a first down.
sneaking out through the backfield and into the route.
First down just beyond the 50. The handoff to Harris, and he is nailed right at the line of scrimmage. Samuel McGuavin moves up from his weak side linebacker spot.
Boy, first throw for Matt Nichols over the middle that was intercepted. Wasn't the start he was looking for after a couple of tough weeks, but he has bounced back, made some good decisions in the second quarter when he did feel pressure. There hasn't been a lot of it, but when he did, he would throw it away. Sometimes not bad to take a sack. He did that as well a couple of times late in that first half.
10 of 13. Second and 10. Three-man rush. Jefferson on the prowl, but the completion to Darvin Adams. A fresh set of downs for Winnipeg as they continue to move the ball with regularity.
Take a look at Adams on the route. He's got inside leverage, just kind of bangs out, meaning he's running the inside curl and bangs back to the outside. And because Matt Nichols had an extra second, Fouquetti at the right tackle pushed Willie Jefferson just past him enough to give Matt Nichols.
So Fouquetti shaking up and getting attention. The replacement for Jamarcus Hardrick for the last couple of weeks.
Boy, he did a nice job on Willie Jefferson on that play, and I think that's where he got hurt. It was almost one hand. He was trying to work him wide.
Michael Couture, the sixth man, will have to come in for at least 3 plays. We'll be right back to the Labor Day Weekend Classic.
It's Montana's ultimate way to
Magnifying glass has been on Matt Nichols for a few weeks now. He's had a good first half after some early adversity.
Well, yeah, that was first series, and that put it on the 1 and gave Saskatchewan a 7-0 lead. But since then, Matt Nichols has gone 10 for 12, 130 yards, and this touchdown throw, the first for Tompkins. Kenbrell Tompkins off play action, so he has bounced back strong, Matt Nichols, after that first pick.
Matty Neufeld moves across the right tackle, and it's France a handoff inside. He gets contained there. Well, he has had a turbulent couple of weeks, but he knows it comes with the territory.
For me, I've been playing quarterback for 24 years of my life now, and so you know, I'm the first person to say those same things. You know, when things aren't going well, it's on the quarterback, and you need to find a way to right the ship. I've been in way worse scenarios than what's going on right now.
Yeah, he talked after that clip about, you know, a lot of people are saying their season is derailing. They're in big trouble, and yes, they're trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. They haven't put up a 3-game losing streak in 3 years, so they're trying not to go there. But he said, we're going to win here. We're right where we want to be.
There's LaFrance, a penalty against Chad Jeter. LaFrance hit the turf, the ball pop loose. There is a flag down on the play, and will that be considered a fumble? The Roughriders are on it. Let's sort out first the flag and whether or not the ground made him fumble the football. Previous play, Chad Jeter been called on defense for an illegal block, and that had moved the play up. Now let's see whose football it's going to be.
I'll tell you, live, it looked like he lost control of the ball just before he hit the ground, and that it wasn't the ball that made him fumble. But we're going to have some good super slow motion looks at it to see just when Keenan LaFrance loses control of this ball. He gets hit low and goes up in the air, so he's not downed by contact. So there he's up in the air now, and he loses the handle just before it hits the turf.
So this being reviewed, no word on the penalty, but
on the previous play, holding Winnipeg number 61. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a turnover. First down, Saskatchewan.
So it is a takeaway for the Saskatchewan defense. LaFrance in the game after Andrew Harris seemed shaken up on that first carry of the second half, and LaFrance coughs up the football. So the Roughriders take over at their own 30. Thigpen in the backfield. 4 receivers wide side and a handoff inside. Thigpen dancing around and getting loose. And how about that for making a lot out of nothing when it looked like he might get stopped in the backfield.
Well, this may be the key to get some traction offensively for Saskatchewan. Number 8. Number 8 may be the key, and that's no slight against Trey Mason, who had a couple of decent runs in the first half, but this is a home run hitter. In Thigpen, they've got a guy that if he makes you miss, he can make you pay. That was an 18-yarder, but he's capable of even more, so maybe it's number 8 that can get this offense going.
Roughriders with 7 points up. An early takeaway in the game. Trying to add to that. Calaros throwing incomplete. Kyron Moore went up to get it. Unable to bring it down. So defense sets up an early 1-yard score for Saskatchewan. They got a special teams touchdown. Get this offense moving in the second half, but again, Calero's changing plays, and it looked like Javon Santos Knox doing likewise for the Bombers. Pass complete. Kyron Moore this time got a first down. 12-yard pickup into Bomber territory.
Well, you're going to see Thigpen go out of the backfield here, and when he sees, or Zach Caleros sees, that Adam Bighill goes with him, then that means the target now is right where Bighill would have dropped. Instead of going to the flat route to Thigpen, who's now covered by Bighill, he goes over that linebacker spot.
Murray rivals, both teams with 5 wins on the year. A lot at stake here today. Caleros rolling back across his body, and he makes a connection. And Naaman Roosevelt got a catch and another first down at the Bomber 40-yard line. 3rd catch of the game for Roosevelt.
It's a nice route running here from Roosevelt because he's got 2-man coverage, which means the underneath cover man and Marcus Sales here is going to stay underneath him and in his hip, so he has to shake him there to get enough of a throwing lane to the inside.
Trey Mason back in the game. Williams Lambert on the wangle. Caleros to throw. One pump. Now a little sidearm toss. Got Roosevelt again. And he is out at the 35-yard line, so a pickup of 5.
I was going to say this is maybe the best drive of the game so far for Saskatchewan offensively. Getting a little more protection for Zach Caleros. Saw a nice block by Brendan Labatt up front on that last play on Drake Nevis. Him away and Opal.
And looked like he never had control of it. Drop for Shaq Evans, and that will end the drive.
2 drops on this drive, or else Saskatchewan's looking at inside the red zone there. There's the Shaq Evans drop. No excuse for that one, because that was right at the number. And the one to Moore was just a little bit high, but very catchable. So two drops that are on the receivers for Saskatchewan in that series.
Evans hasn't had a catch in the game. Here's the league leader in field goals with 28. Also the longest, 56 for Brett Lowther. And this from 42 is good. And this game is locked up at 17 apiece. Tie football game. Looks like we do have the makings of a Labor Day weekend classic. From mic'd up players to behind the scenes action, it's CFL Wired.
Wham, wham, wham. Wipe your wet diaper, boy. Wipe your diaper and make the throw.
10 bars right now. What you trying to do? Hey, just got a TD. Yeah, me and you.
Hey, how y'all doing at home, man? Thank you. Are you like that?
Catch CFL Wired Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on TSN2. And Antonio Pipkin's Wired. West now with 3 wins on the year. Matt Nichols comes up throwing and a strike to Drew Wolodarski. Coming off his best game, 8 catches and 90 yards against Toronto. And again, the Bombers trying to respond after points by Saskatchewan.
Going with double tight end set here to widen the edges to keep Charleston Hughes and Willie Jefferson away. Mission accomplished on that one. Doesn't catch and a 16-yard gain.
Excuse me, Suits. Doesn't look like Denise Fichetti is back, and so Neufeld to right tackle. Michael Couture, who's been the backup for 3 straight years and 46 consecutive games, getting a chance here. Harris, the ball carrier, up to the 54, close to 4 more.
You have Saskatchewan product Patrick Neufeld now is going to face, and on the last couple plays has faced, Charleston Hughes. Looks like Andrew Harris is trying to fight through it now. Try and gut it out a little bit.
Yeah, he missed some plays in the last series. After a big hit on a no yards carry. 2nd and 6 here. Here comes pressure. Nichols got it away. Jump ball incomplete. Well, they sent pressure. Matt Elam, the strong side linebacker, putting the heat on the Winnipeg quarterback.
Matt,
late flag, excuse me, Suits. But
yep, Matt Elam coming up here. He's going to crawl inside here, and this is important for Charleston Hughes to make an inside move and to shorten down his split so the tackle can't get out to Elam. That's the pressure.
Objectionable conduct. Saskatchewan number 3. This is a 10-yard penalty that will result in a first down for Winnipeg.
Wow, there's a costly penalty. Nick Marshall flagged. Play was long over. Players are going to the sidelines.
Well, must have been something said, because I really didn't see. That was the end of the play. There's Marshall to the right of your screen. Now he's talking. Basically turns and says something, and flag flew right after that.
It's Winnipeg fresh set of downs, and Harris hits the hole and has 5 more to the 40. So now in Medlock range. Been interesting to see whether they'd gone for another 50-plus field goal, but
that's a big penalty, and Matt Nichols another shot at a makeable field goal attempt, even if they don't get this second down conversion.
Andrew Harris had 101 yards from scrimmage last year in this game. He's got 114 on the ground already, and Nichols with a quarterback draw. You don't see it a whole lot from Matt Nichols, but it is the Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, do what you got to do, and especially what makes this Labor Day weekend matchup so much more intriguing is just the standings and how important it is and how important the 2 points is for both these teams in the West. And if one of these teams can sweep this series, wow, they're setting themselves up to chase a home playoff game, separate themselves from the pack.
They wanted to get a headshot hit in there on the Guava penalty, but unforthcoming, and he'll throw that away with pressure coming from Toby Antigua and the newcomer Kurt Majid.
Well, this is for Saskatchewan's defense right now, Chris. They get a chance to bail out a teammate on second down. Because if you think that Winnipeg would have tried the long field goal before the Nick Marshall penalty, which was an after the whistle penalty, which coaches hate.
Would have been 57 yards. Probably not.
Probably not. But a chance to bail out Nick Marshall here. The teammates get the stop and see what Matt Nichols has.
Down, gets it away. over the middle, has the catch. Let's see where forward progress is.
Nick Marshall doesn't think he made the catch.
He's signaling incomplete. The officials are going to talk about it. They did rule a catch and were marking Adams at the 25. Let's see if they change the call. Of course, the eye in the sky.
Ruling on the field is incomplete pass.
Nick Marshall makes the right call.
Let's take another look. This is from behind Matt Nichols. Yeah, the ball comes out, not controlled. That's an incomplete pass.
And Nick Marshall helps himself out by making that play. It would have been 3rd and a yard. Instead, it's going to be a 42-yard field goal attempt. Looking for the 4th lead change of the game. He's had one block. Puts this one up and good. So again, Winnipeg able to respond to a score from the Roughriders. But Nick Marshall says you're only getting 3. 2017 Bombers. Well, if you're a football fan, you should get to at least one Labor Day weekend classic here at Mosaic. And Claire Hanna standing by with a special guest who's at his first today.
Well, Chris, Joe Lozito is from New York, and this is his first Labor Day Classic game, but he's known as a hero because in 2011, he single-handedly stopped a stabbing spree in the New York subway. Now, he's always been an NFL fan. However, in this offseason, after the Super Bowl, he turned to the CFL to quench his football thirst in the summer. He created a football Twitter poll, asking CFL fans who he should cheer for. The Riders won out. And now a group of fans from Riderville pooled money together, and they flew him from New York City to Regina so he could be at his first CFL Labor Day Classic game here today.
That's a cool score. Only in Saskatchewan, and he's got probably wearing Dan Clark's jersey. Think Pennicari up to the 40-yard line.
And a true hero who stopped the stabbing in the New York subway. And boy, by the looks of him,
nice here. That's incredible.
By the looks of him, man, I like his chances.
Chris Jones not going to give him a try?
Yeah, maybe.
Let's go.
Pretty cool.
Front row center today. Welcome, Joe. And you're seeing a good one.
And a hello to all our fans down in the U.S. that are watching.
Football time of the year. There's a first down catch, and Moore, well, he's had a day, hasn't he? Up to midfield. Kyron Moore becoming a bigger presence in the Rough Rider offense.
A little Deron Carter type celebration after that catch, after the fact. But he has made some plays, including that punt return, and playing like doesn't know any better.
Made a couple miss before.
There's the Deron Carter.
There it is. Edging into Bomber territory. In the final minute of this third quarter. More in motion. Double tight ends. Take the thick pin. Completion. Another first down. And catch made by Roosevelt. Good catch of the game for him.
Good timing on that throw, Chris. He just right off the play action fake, 1-2 step and put it in the window. 3 defenders around Naaman Roosevelt trusted him to be there right when he wanted him there.
Should be the final play of this third quarter. First down, Rough Rider. Bombers 42. Receiver set, hand off Big Pen right up the middle. And 4 to the 38. So it's a 3-point game through 3 quarters of play. An early start for Saskatchewan. The offense got rolling for Winnipeg. We head to the fourth quarter of the Labor Day weekend Classic 2017 Winnipeg. It was a 3-point game 2 years ago. It's a 3-point Winnipeg lead after 3 quarters. here in the 2018 Labor Day Classic.
You look at the history of this game, and if you're the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, you want to stay close on the road and get into the fourth quarter in a one-possession game, whether you're ahead or behind. So the Bombers are in a good position there. The bad news for Winnipeg is it looks like Andrew Harris is banged up. He's not running with that same jump in his step like he did in the first half.
That first hit on the first carry of the second half seems to have impacted him. 10 points off turnovers for Saskatchewan. So a couple of times Winnipeg's made a mistake in the game, and the Roughriders have stayed in it because of that.
Take a look at that hit again on Andrew Harris. It was Charleston Hughes from the backside, Samuel Aguavin the play side, and kind of got sandwiched in between the two of them, and he just hasn't had the jump in his step since. So we'll see how that affects the Winnipeg offense. But Zach Collaros got a little production out of Marcus Thigpen.
Riders start the fourth quarter, 2nd and 6 from the 38. Third drop Collaros. Shaq Evans got this one. First catch of the day is a first down at the 25.
I'm sure Zach Collaros went over and talked to his receivers and said, hey guys, we're in a tight game here. We need every catch. Got to concentrate, spend that extra split second concentrating on the football, get it tucked away before contact arrives. Couple drops in that third quarter, and that's first and best catch for Shaq Evans in this one.
6 different receiver deployed by Collaros today. Big pin out of the backfield. 6 receivers out. Adam Collaros going to take a shot. Big pin, touchdown. And the Roughriders are back in front.
Like a little bit of confusion from the Bombers secondary. Taylor Loeffler and Brandon Alexander were trying to communicate things just prior to the snap of the ball. Adam Bighill, you don't see, he's at the right of your screen, walked out on Marcus Thigpen, but it looked like zone drops for Adam Bighill, and he was not supposed to take him man-to-man. Thigpen on a double move gets in behind everybody.
First touchdown reception of the year for Thigpen. Caps a 6-play, 75-yard drive. So after Winnipeg takes the lead, Collaros and company march it down. Now 5 lead changes on the day, and it's 24-20 in favor of the home side.
So you get Thigpen out of the backfield now. Adam Bighill's going to widen with him, but watch the corner in Kevin Fogg here. He jumps. It looks like he has a deep outside 4. Stop it there. See Fogg up at the top. He jumps here. It looks like it's supposed to be 4 deep zone by Winnipeg, and Thigpen gets in behind the corner, Kevin Fogg, as he tries to regroup. He jumped that quick hitch by Shaq Evans.
Dipsky contained around the 25-yard line. Tackle on the play by Alex Gagne.
Just before the snap of the ball, I saw Taylor Loeffler trying to widen Brandon Alexander. They were communicating. Look at the 2 guys right here in the front of your screen. They're trying to talk and say, no, widen out. We got the quarters in this deep zone here, so you got to get wider, help out that outside, and that's exactly where they attacked. Taylor Loeffler felt that play coming, just didn't get lined up in time.
That'll turn up the volume. And Andrew Harris trying to silence again. He's got away, and he'll rough across midfield again. Every time the Roughriders have taken a step, Andrew Harris has got it back.
Sorry, Chris, it really has been. I mean, every single time the Riders grab momentum with a touchdown, they are going to get a big play. Winnipeg gets a big play from Andrew Harris right after. Mateus Gosen gets a big pulls from the center spot, gets the hole opened up for him, and Harris hits it. Nice spin move there, and then watch him switch to his left hand. Well, he does at the end of that run.
here. And the ball thrown into the turf. Did it make the line of scrimmage? It did, so it will not be grounding the football. Looked like Nichols and Harris on the wrong page there, and
had to make the line of scrimmage or had to be a receiver close. There's Willie Jefferson. That didn't work from the get-go.
On second down conversions. Nichols rolling. Anybody there? He'll throw it away.
Matt Nichols had a couple of options on that side of the field, and he wanted his shorter option to turn up. I believe it was Corey Washington. He was running an out over there, and when you're a short to intermediate receiver and your quarterback's on the run trying to scramble, short and intermediate, turn it up and go deep. Deep guys come back to the football, and Matt Nichols just didn't get what he wanted on that side of the field as he was rolling out there.
So third down, Medlock to punt. And Christian Jones no longer available for the Roughriders today. Ira Moore, though, has supplied a punt return touchdown back with Marcus Thigpen, who's hit pay dirt. Big pressure there from the jet. Ball, a little backspin, and Moore's got a plate at the 5, and there is a punt inside the 10 for Medlock. So off their best drive of the game, Galero's deep in his own zone. The biggest hits live on TMN. Don't miss the Best Picture winner. Critics call a stunning masterpiece. Shape of Water premieres Saturday at 9 Eastern on TMN, the movie network. Well, they've got the lead and have the football. The Roughriders start at their own 7. Deepest field position start of the day for the green and white. And they hand it off to Mason. Not much there.
Good tackle by Drake Nevis, who's been in a real battle with Brendan Labatt in this game in the middle. We haven't talked a lot about Nevis getting into the backfield because 57's done a great job. He helps out on Opla Ugo there. Steps down on Nevis on the double team inside with Clark. It's tough on Nevis to try and beat that double team, but Matt's having another good game.
Been on both sides of this rivalry. 10th Labor Day Classic missed in 2016, so while wearing Saskatchewan colors, he has not lost in this game. Whoops. Kyron Moore was a few strides ahead of the snap, and that will back up the Roughriders even further.
Offside. Saskatchewan number 85. A 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
That was offside and then some.
Back to the 4-yard line. 2nd and 13. Defense looking for a critical stop. Galero's wide side, Thigpen, but he short hops into an open receiver. Would have been short of the first down, and now Chris Jones has a decision, just the second 2 and out. Do you give up 2 here or not?
Adam Bighill, Chris, on that play. This is nice design by Richie Hall, the defensive coordinator. He drops back like he's a deep guy, and then he comes underneath the receiver here, and that's why Zach Caleros is going to hold the football a little bit longer. See, here comes Adam Bighill, showing like he's going to be a deep guy, then he drops underneath, and it forces Caleros to hold it and then try and get it out to Thigpen. He's short on that throw, and now what?
Looks like he had the goalpost to contend with as well. Bartel standing deep in the end zone. Fogg at midfield. Chris Jones, though, puts a lot of faith in his defense, and he's going to once again. Good kick, though, fielded at the 46. 42-yard punt. Fogg down at the 43. So Winnipeg starting on the fringe of Medlock field goal range, but looking for more.
For tickets, go to Riderville.com.
Sold out crowd here this year is customary on Labor Day weekend. Pretty good discussion there. Many coaches will give up 2 instead of almost instant field goal range. The other argument in a game like this, you give up 2 and Winnipeg gets the ball and a chance for another field goal to take the lead. So different sides of the argument, but that'll get them closer to Medlock range now. It's inside the 40-yard line on that short completion to Darvin Adams.
Well, and for Chris Jones, you know, the decision there, I'm sure, was influenced by just how strong his defense has been, and as strong as defense has been throughout this season. He has a lot of confidence in that defense, so it puts him on the field.
In the backfield. It will be Harris. And Harris, second effort. And that should be a first down, and a big one at that. Might be close enough for a measurement. We'll wait and see for the exact spot.
Samuel Aguavin, Chris, is the Saskatchewan team leader in defensive plays coming into this game. And he had Andrew Harris in the backfield. He's in that linebacking core, and he has Andrew Harris in the backfield way short of this first down. He finds the hole, steps into it, and all he ends up is with Harris's towel. How many times have you seen Andrew Harris? Well, I'm gonna say almost every run. He's not brought down by that first tackle.
Just short, inches short. Chris Strepler comes in. Roughriders converted 3 times on 3rd and short earlier in the game, and now Chris Strepler. And the Bombers need to do that. Won't need much. That should do it. Last time Strepler came in, he stayed in for another play, but Matt Nichols coming right back onto the field. And you get an Andre Proulx view of that first down as they unpile. I think we can call Ref Cam that the Proulx view. Well, today we can. Most rushing yards Saskatchewan surrendered this year. Looking for a career best. Flags come down, and there was pre-snap movement.
Boy, those 2 bookends for Saskatchewan, they were...
Procedure. Winnipeg, number 66, a 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Stanley Bryant, left tackle, 3-time All CFLer.
Up against Hughes on that play. Look at the all-star tackles in the league, a little jumpy.
First and 15, Nichols going to drop it off, and that one batted down and nearly intercepted.
Charleston Hughes does such a great job on this play. He's going to come up the field and push Stanley Bryant back. It's not a pass rush play. He's almost, through film study, he has watched this type of situation for Winnipeg over and over again, and he's coming back and says, I'm going to read that Andrew Harris is going to get it. He slides into the passing lane and knocks that down.
Well, that's a great replay and a tremendous play by the 11-year vet, going head-to-head against his old Calgary Stampeder teammate. It's 2nd and 15. Ron to Harris. And Harris will get it back to the original line of scrimmage and a little closer for Medlock. McGuavin makes sure he doesn't get any further. Harris at 155 in the game, and now within 45 yards of 1,000 for the season. Medlock from 39, trying to make it a one-point game, and he does just that. 24-23, Brendan Labatt goes back to work in his 10th Labor Day Classic, and one of the guys Chris Jones leans on.
Brendan Labatt, I mean, he's a loyal dude. I mean, again, I just got cold chills. He grows up 30 minutes from here. He's seen this football team and seen this organization, you know, in their highs and in their lows, and it matters a lot. This football team matters a lot to Brendan Labatt, and you know, he doesn't miss practice. I mean, his baby's being born the other day, and I mean, he's waiting till we finish to go do that type of thing. I mean, it matters. This football team in this city matter a lot to Brendan Labatt.
Well, we've seen what a warrior he is this year. Marcus Thigpen has supplied a booster shot to this offense in the second half. Good run off the left side for 19, and Brendan Labatt helping provide the hole.
Yeah, he's got to make sure that no penetration gets through the middle there to disrupt this play before it gets started. So Labatt gets down the field. Good push from that hole, the whole left side of that O-line, and Thigpen has been a catalyst in the second half. Get this offense started in Saskatchewan.
First and 10, Ryder 54, pressure coming. Caleros, little sidearm toss, and David Roosevelt leveled by Brandon Alexander, but it's a 6-yard pickup.
Important down here for the Bombers defensively. Get a stop here, an incomplete pass. And I'm not sure Chris Jones tries a 57-yard field goal. Don't get the stop here. They give that field goal. They just scored right back.
The Bomber 50. Here comes the Winnipeg defense. That ball batted down and falls to the turf, incomplete. Safety blitz.
And the safety wasn't the only one. Adam Bighill on the blitz. Javon Santos Knox, he's on the blitz as well. I mean, here comes Loeffler at the bottom. Santos Knox. Adam Bighill's in here. He's going to end up blitzing as well. This is send the house. They knew it was a key down too, and Richie Hall sends pressure.
So it knocked down the second of the year for Santos Knox. Bartell to punt. Unless something's on, 3rd and 4. Bartell puts it in the air, fielded at the 12, the clock brings it back across the 20-yard line. 5:12 to go, 1-point game, Bombers with the football.
Good smart play by Kevin Fogg there. Let's take a look at the numbers, closing in on a personal best here for Andrew Harrison. He's been gutting it through this second half because of a hit from Charleston Hughes.
Said yesterday that you can't get caught up in the smoke and mirrors of the Saskatchewan defense, and he has certainly not gotten caught up in it. They're having trouble catching Andrew Harris today. But the Bombers trail by 1. Starting deep. Over the middle, catch is made by Washington. He gets driven back by Cameron Judge. Again, a little inexperience because of injury in that Winnipeg receiving corps. Washington making his debut. Kenbrell Tompkins has only been in for a couple of games now. The time they would love to have number 7, Weston Dressler.
He was close. All the way down to this morning. And then was a late scratch.
the sideline, unable to connect with Washington. 2 and out.
But it has made a difference, Chris. You think about the play where Matt Nichols scrambled and looked downfield, and Washington didn't adjust the way he wanted him to, and then that one on the out, not quite in sync on that one. A key play right at the marker would have got him another set of downs, but they're going to have to kick it. So not quite in sync.
Third 2 and out for Winnipeg. Medlock's boot. Thigpen going to run up on that at the 39 and step out at the Winnipeg bench. Well, it is the football season. NFL on TSN returns Thursday. Season opener clash between the Falcons and the reigning Super Bowl champion Eagles. The action gets underway 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific across the TSN network.
And I'll just send this message out. It's okay to love both leagues. You can.
U Sports is taking off. I know you're interested in the Queens season opener tonight. And some pretty wild NCAA action yesterday as well. If you're a real football fan.
Yeah, I hear you. It's okay to like both leagues.
Everything. Trey Mason. To the 50-yard line, has 4. Crunch time now, isn't it?
Timeout. Winnipeg.
And the Bombers use a timeout before the 3-minute warning.
Our veteran producer, John Hines, in the truck, just in my ear said before that timeout was called, this is a big play in this football game, and that's exactly what the Bombers were thinking, because they just called a timeout to make sure they get it right. First down here puts Zach Collaros a couple of yards away from field goal range.
Huge response defensively today for Winnipeg after giving
Timer, please reset the clock to read 3 minutes and 39 seconds. 3 minutes, 39 seconds.
Need a couple seconds back on the clock. They surrendered 1,004 yards in the previous 2 games. So far today, they've held Collaros and company to 260.
Without Jackson Jeffcoat in the lineup.
But Richie Hall's defense still has a lot of work to do. And a lot hinging on this next play. 2nd and 6. Collaros looking downfield. Williams Lambert can't hang on. Looked like he had it, but did not survive contact.
Believe it was Chandler Fenner playing for Maurice Leggett, who drops deep along with Adam Bighill. So they take the linebackers, Richie Hall, a play out of the book of Chris Jones to switch things up. You see Fenner in the trail, Loeffler over the top, and there's Bighill. He was also deep in coverage. We saw him disguise that and come back into the middle earlier in this game, and now Fenner and Loeffler get there.
Kevin Fogg is back. 55 yards, his longest of the year. Last week, his longest only 9. What's he got? From the 20. Big hit downfield. That's Chad Jeter. Chris Jones told Chad Jeter, be the guy on film. The coaches have to double team on the teams, and Jeter living up to that on the film that time. A decleater from Jeter. Well, final play before the 3-minute warning. Giving you everything you'd want on a Labor Day Classic, and Harris with the football trying to cut back, and that time Mike Edom prevented some damage.
Matt Nichols has heard from the fans in both cities for the last couple weeks. He's going to hear about him on the next down, I'll tell you that.
Crunch time here at Mosaic. Big Labor Day Monday ahead. First game of the doubleheader. The Eskimos and Stampeders, 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific. And then the second game of the doubleheader, it's the Argos and the Tiger Cats, plus a pre-game appearance by Tay-Bay and a live halftime performance by Monster Truck. Monster play coming up. Nick Nichols throwing, and incomplete. Can't connect with Darvin Adams up against Nick Marshall. And the Bombers have to punt it away with 2:42 to go.
Another Saskatchewan native, Zach Evans, with a good push. Samuel Guavin gets the hit. Watch him get the good push. Guavin up here at the top. You got Zach Evans working in tandem on that side. Inside rush, good push. Guavin makes the hit and rushes the throw.
Big Pen at his 36. He'll step out 5 yards further downfield at the 41. 2:34 on the clock. How many first downs can Zach Calero stack up, and how much time can he burn off the clock with a 1-point lead?
Pony! 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 Pony!
Looks like Trey Mason and Marcus Thigpen are staying in the offensive huddle here.
They're gonna, looks like, try to grind it out here.
Grind it down and get into field goal range looks like the strategy at this point to make it a 4-point game.
Big Ben with 92 yards from scrimmage and a touchdown. He'll bump out as a receiver. And he'll swing it to the near side for Roosevelt. Got a block. It gets loose. And Roosevelt down to the Winnipeg 50-yard line has a huge first down.
Great block by the newcomer, Kyron Moore. He had the big punt return, and he doesn't make this block, and this is a limited gain by Naaman Roosevelt. But watch how 85 is going to step up there. You see it just to the right of your screen over here, and it's a 20-yard gain by Roosevelt because of that big block. Again, he's only 165 pounds, but he stepped in there and got his man.
7th catch of the game for Roosevelt at 86 yards, looking for his first 100-yard game of the year. Trey Mason down to the 42. Chris Jones said he had the freshest legs on the field late in the game against the Lions last week.
Timeout, Winnipeg. This is their final timeout.
So the Bombers stop the clock. Roughriders in field goal range, and that would force Winnipeg to need a touchdown to win. But the Roughriders with the football looking for a touchdown to clinch.
You can imagine Richie Hall probably thinking load the line of scrimmage, expecting a run play from Saskatchewan here, and Saskatchewan thinking if they get the first down on the ground, it's a bonus. If they don't, they are in field goal range, as you mentioned, make it a 4-point game.
Second and 3 with Thigpen. Flanking Laros. Ball downfield, and it is caught. Jordan Williams, Lambert inside the 5.
How about that call? Stephen McAdoo says, forget all that conventional wisdom and playing it safe and all of that stuff. In this situation, we're not going to grind the clock on the run. No, we're going to go deep, get the one-on-one, and see if our receiver can come up with it. And Williams Lambert comes up with a monster catch.
Yeah, that's bold stuff on 2nd and 3.
Absolutely. In field goal range already to go deep.
And it becomes their biggest play on offense in the game, and there is Stephen McAdoo.
Nutsy call, and it worked.
First and goal. End zone toss, incomplete. Off the back of Sales, and they're going to call pass interference. Intended for Roosevelt.
Pass interference. Winnipeg number 36. The foul occurred in goal. The ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. First down, Saskatchewan.
Could have called screening and early contact, plus ran over him. No question, pass interference there.
Stops the clock with 1:33. Marshall in. Has a touchdown. this game. Straight ahead. No signal. And no real urgency for the Roughriders to score ASAP.
No, on first and goal actually plays a little bit to Saskatchewan's hand. They can take some more time off the clock here.
Take 20 seconds more off. Chris Jones 2-0 wearing green, and by players' decree wearing green again today, trying to extend the streak.
The man in black has changed to green because the players voted it. So
Marshall thought he'd broken the plane. The command center on any play close to a scoring play can take a look. That's one that I don't think Chris Jones wanted to go in his favor. So second and goal. Right side, touchdown. Walking touchdown. And now it's a 7-point lead. And the decision to make. Convert makes it an 8-pointer. A 2-pointer puts it out of reach. But they're going to set up for the safe call here.
Well, it forces Winnipeg to drive the field, score, and then make the 2-point convert play. If they get the extra point, which is a higher percentage, even though they moved the 2-point attempt up.
2 years ago when Winnipeg won here, Tyler Crapina missed a convert late, but came back to hunt. So this is an important point.
Saskatchewan.
And they call timeout. Not sure whether they had the right complement, so
they were short a guy, so they have to get that lined up right. Let's take a look at the push up front. Nick Marshall just patiently finding that outside edge to score on second down. So there were an extra 15 seconds taken off the clock and a souvenir for the crowd. So
Wilder makes no mistake. It is an 8-point game. 66 seconds remain. Huge scoring drive for Saskatchewan. Zach Caleros now at 250 yards passing. And Matt Nichols needs a big scoring drive here in just over a minute.
Well, and at this point, at 1:06, and we'll see what happens after the kickoff and what happens here. The smart play for the returner for Winnipeg is just to get what you can, get up the field, and give Matt Nichols as much time as possible.
Not sure we've had a kick return that's gone beyond the 35 in this game.
If you hit a crease as a returner here, it's a bonus. If not, don't waste too much time going east-west here. And Matt Nichols should have some time here. He's going to need a big chunk in one of the plays, but should have some time, enough time to maybe silence some critics.
We have not had an overtime game in the league this year. The Bombers would sign up for that right now. Will be the former Rider, Nick Dembski. He won't get past the 25. A flag comes down. And it's Chad Jeter, the arrow.
Can't take a penalty here. Winnipeg just had to remind the return team, you cannot take a penalty in this return. And I believe they did.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Winnipeg, a 10-yard penalty. First down, Winnipeg.
Well, we don't get a name.
We don't get a number there, but
get it marked back at the 17.
Makes a long field longer.
93 yards from where they have to be. Slinging wide side, and Dini got his first of the year. He had 2 a year ago, and number 11 has just sealed the deal.
Didn't really even look like anyone was set there. I think Nichols was trying to catch Saskatchewan moving around. They were trying to shift and move their defense all over the place, and he was trying to catch them before they got set and threw the pick. See, you look at the middle of the Saskatchewan D here. They're trying to scramble around. He's trying to catch him and throw that outside play. And Ed Gainey says, "Thank you very much."
Third takeaway of the day for Saskatchewan, already with 10 points on turnover, so it has been a difference, and it helps clinch it. Roughriders will go to 6-0 with fewer turnovers, 0-4 when they've made more, and the same stat the other way. Bombers will be 0-4 with more turnovers in the game. Trey Mason getting outside. Rolled out by Loeffler. 11 more.
For the first time, and as well as they played and staying in the fight in this game, and that's has been difficult through the years for Winnipeg in this one. As difficult as it's been, Saskatchewan equally as hard in the rematch in Winnipeg coming up in a week. But for the first time in 3 years, Winnipeg will drop 3 straight.
Interception leader last year with 10. Has to wait till the 10th game for his first this year. That gets thrown. Spencer Moore on Alexander. Got to do
holding
it again
Saskatchewan
next week.
Number 80, 10-yard penalty, will remain first down.
And next week, Saskatchewan has to battle the crowd, so they lose the snap count. That's basically what happens when you're in enemy territory. The opposition loses the snap count offensively. That should be an advantage for an offense. You lose it with crowd noise. That'll be what the challenge will be for Saskatchewan when they head to Winnipeg.
Well, for you fashionistas, looks like this guy's going to be wearing green a little bit longer.
Yeah, the team voted that he'd keep it on since they won 2 weeks ago. And I'm just, is he allowed to wash it? Is the key.
Victory formation here, the Banjo Bowl coming up. So we'll go from the loudest crowd in the CFL to the loudest crowd in the CFL, just depending on who you want to believe.
Yeah, who you ask.
Now 3 straight losses for a team that had won 4-5. And well, 3 weeks ago, people were thinking might be the best or second best team in the league. Now it's 3 straight wins for Saskatchewan. And the Roughriders move to 6-4, and they have won 13 of the last 14 Labor Day weekend classics. Time now for the Nissan Titan Player of the Game, brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League.
Kyron Moore, the newcomer in the receiving corps, got things going offensively. 106 all-purpose yards, but he also had a key play in the game right here. Punt return for a touchdown. Made a couple of guys miss. Showed his speed to the outside. Austin P. graduate Kyron Moore is our player of the game.
Well, little things were big today. A little guy with that big punt return touchdown. One of the differences, one of the best games Andrew Harris has ever played, but all in a losing cause. Harris with 158 yards rushing on the day, but 3 Bomber turnovers. A big difference. 31-23 to keep the Labor Day weekend rolling. We'll see you tomorrow in Calgary.